You can stay around for my bloopers today if you like, near the end. Oh, I know, it's Mrs. Pete's Thrifty Living. I thought I'd just bring this little sign up that I made. Do you want to hear about some more presidents, first ladies? We are on the 15th and the 16th first ladies. Now, I have not read this yet, so I can't tell you whether it is a wife or someone that stepped in to do the job. I'm so happy you're here today. So let me say that to begin with. And I was just asking that girl over in the corner that if I ask again, she'll tell me that it is in the 60s right now, 62. And it's supposed to be up to 72 today. That's going to be nice. It's still in my house. It's so cool. I've got this on. I had a scarf on and I took it off for this video. I'll probably put it back. And you may see more than one video today. This is from the book that Carol with Crinkle Path, she sent it to me when I was in the middle of this series, and she sent the President's Ladies book to me. Actually, we have a meeting planned up for some of us Northern California YouTube creators. We'll be meeting with Life with Patty and Martha Makes Art, My Mountain Home, Carol Crinkle Path, Kim's Inspired Life, and there's one or two more, please forgive me, that I haven't gotten to know you yet. And that's coming up, and I'm sure we'll all be telling you about our experience. And now I got a dog barking. It's my niece's dog. That's Lacey. She probably hears me talking. Here is the lady that we're going to be talking about today, Harriet Lane Johnston. We hear a lot of people with Johnson, but this is Johnston with a T. Served as First Lady during the term of her uncle, James Buchanan, the 15th president. By the time Harriet Lane was 10 years old, both of her parents had died, and she was the ward of her uncle, James Buchanan. He was a senator in Washington, and he sent Harriet to the best schools in the city. Harriet visited the White House when her uncle served in President Polk's cabinet. She accompanied her uncle to London when he was envoy to Great Britain. When Buchanan became president in 1857, Harriet was already well known in the political circles and fashionable society. Harriet acted as the First Lady for Buchanan, the only bachelor president. Okay. I didn't remember that, did you? She was very popular. The press called her the Democratic Queen. Women imitated her style of dress, and she charmed everyone with her enthusiasm and poise. Even with the possibility of the Civil War on everyone's mind, the White House was merrier than it had been in years. Harriet had a serious side as well. At the time of the internal conflict in the country, she used her diplomacy and tact when arranging the seating at the state dinners. She invited artists to the White House and expressed their gratitude by making Harriet a popular Indian name. Harriet demonstrated enough knowledge of politics to become the president's confidant. During the tenure of the White House, the Prince of Wales, later King Edward VII, was a guest. This was the first visit by members of the royal family to the United States. On another occasion, she was hostess at a reception honoring the first Japanese diplomatic mission to the U.S. 5 years after leaving the White House, Harriet married Henry Johnson, a banker from Baltimore. The couple had 2 sons. When she died in 1906, Harriet bequeathed half of her sizable art collection to the government. This donation was the basis for the National Gallery of Art. The rest of her collection was left to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. She also donated a generous sum of money to the pediatric division of the Johns Hopkins Hospital, where Harriet Lane outpatient clinic still serves thousands of children. Okay, that was interesting. Let's see. She was born in 1830, May. She was English, Scotch, and Irish. Her mother was Jane Buchanan Lane, and her dad was Elliot Toll Lane. At the age of inauguration, she was 26. She was young then, and she died of heart failure. That was interesting. I did not know that, and I knew there was a president that was not married, but I didn't remember which one. So now we know. Is that a reminder to you, or did you already know and you think, you should have known that? I always laugh and say, that's the day I missed school. I must have been absent. On to, this is a very popular one. Let me show you, see if you recognize the picture before I show you the name. You recognize her picture? I don't. That is Mary Ann Todd Lincoln. She served during the term of her husband. He was Abraham Lincoln. He was the 16th president of the United States. Born into a prosperous Kentucky family in 1818, Mary Ann Todd went to the best schools. She was an excellent student, but a prankster as well. Witty, sarcastic, and outspoken. Charming, but short-tempered and impulsive. Boy, she sounds quite a lady. At age 20, Mary went to live with her sister in Springfield, Illinois. There she met Abraham Lincoln. And after a stormy courtship, they were married in 1842. Lincoln built a successful law practice, and he and Mary had 4 sons, one of whom died at the age of 4. No one was happier than Mary when Lincoln became president, and she was eager to help make her husband's term a success. She redecorated that somewhat shabby White House, gave elegant parties, and dressed in exquisite taste. But Mary's efforts worked against her. The Civil War had begun, and her dinners and her fine clothes seemed callous and extravagant. Worse still, she was from a border state and had relatives fighting for the Confederacy. Ill-founded rumors spread that Mary was a traitor. Mary's experience as First Lady was not what she had expected. Gay and ambitious, she loved attention and looked forward to being the belle of Washington. But it seemed that Mrs. Lincoln could do nothing right. Throughout the stay in the White House, she was criticized and frustrated. In 1862, Mary's 11-year-old son, Willie, died of typhoid fever. The Lincolns were shattered by their loss, and Mary came close to a total collapse. But when she bought costly mourning clothes and special mourning jewelry, the public was outraged. Mary's reputation grew steadily worse. Stories were told that the First Lady threw temper tantrums when a hat she wanted was not available, when her purchases were not delivered on time, or when a dress was not quite what she expected. In addition, she was said to be manipulative. Lincoln's assassin in 1865 ended Mary's ordeal as First Lady. But her troubles were far from over. Although she was able to pay her debts with her husband's estate, she became obsessed with the fear of poverty. Her son Tad died in 1871, and her reckless spending continued. Her only remaining son, Robert, fearing that she would squander all her money, had her declared as incompetent. When Mary was put in Robert's care, he committed her to an institution that specialized in caring for mentally troubled women from the upper class. Wow. After 3 months, her sister had her released and declared her competent again. Suffering from cataracts, arthritis, and other health problems, Mary visited France, but returned increasingly plagued with anxiety and fear of poverty. She went to her sister's house, broken and ill, and died there at the age of 64. Wow, you guys. That is a sad story. I did not realize all that. You don't know. I mean, you think, wow, she's president's wife. She's got it all made. I guess they didn't all have it made like we thought. Well, you know what? That's today's video. I hope you enjoyed that. I've got so many planned, and I don't know quite where I want to put them. And sometimes I put more than one up a day. At this point in my life, I am totally enjoying it, and I hope you are enjoying some of these videos that I've got coming out. I really hope if you would and would like that you can go back and listen to our pastor's wife's videos. They have been so good, and I have just been so thrilled to be able that she's given me permission to do this. And I know you will be blessed if you go back and watch them. I know some of them are longer than my normal videos, and now I've got a video. I've got to edit this one out. Some of those words I had to go back, I don't know how many times, and correct myself. It's like, did you ever hear the term, I had my tongue over my eye teeth and couldn't see a thing? Okay. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. Please, if you wouldn't mind. You see this little sign here? You know, a lot of times on this one, the share, a lot of times on the like, I might have 100 views or whatever, and maybe 20 likes. And I know a lot of times you're watching it on your TV or whatever, and you have to go back to your phone. Well, I showed you how you could do it, but it is a little bit more. But I like to comment on the ones I watch. I comment always. Put a little heart in there, at least, or say something where they know I've watched. Okay, I'm gone. Don't forget, Jesus loves you today. He loves you every day of your life, and he wants to be your best friend. And so, let's see. Stay tuned for my bloopers. I got some bloopers. Okay. In addition, she was said to be manipulated. She was said to be manipulative, jealous, and selfish. But later, Harriet visited the White House when her uncle became president. Later, Harriet visited the White House when her uncle served as President Polk's cabinet. Start that again, third time. Later, Harriet visited the White House when her uncle served in the President Polk's. Am I going to get it right? Okay. Is this the fourth time? Let's try it again. She accompanied her uncle in London. Start over. Okay. Harriet visited the White House when her uncle served in President Polk's cabinet. She accompanied her uncle